Thank you for being here today. I'm Brandon Kenig, the SEO manager, and I want to do a quick shout out to my SEO team. I have two other members on my team, Rebecca Villa and Patrick All, seated back there. Soon to have another person as well. So we will go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk about SEO from the perspective of what it is, industry trends, what we do here at Venn and Haystak, and the future. And if you have questions throughout, let me know, but we'll take questions at the end as well. So what is SEO? SEO is search engine optimization. So at its basic level, it's strategically impacting the visibility of your web content and search engine results. The entire goal is to rank high and to rank for relevant keyword terms that people search for, so you can be visible and you can increase your site traffic. Search engine results can be impacted directly by a variety of factors, but most distinctly by page title tags, page descriptions, backlinks, anchor text, content, which I have in red because content is crucial. If you don't have good content, if you don't have new content that's changing on a frequent basis, then you are behind and the crawlers are not going to crawl your content as well and index it so it ranks high. And site structure. Do you have custom URLs? Do you have good URL extensions, good directory extension? Do you have defined page elements? Do you have rich media content? So all of these factors are what we call kind of the bread and butter of SEO, the core elements that have a direct impact. Joey? So there's also several factors that indirectly impact SEO. User site engagement. Is your site easily navigable by users? Do they have a good experience? Do they bounce off quickly? If so, poor site experience will have an impact on how frequently your site is crawled and will eventually have an impact on rankings. And social media, which has a huge impact and is growing, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. So why does all this matter? Why does it matter to try to impact your standing in search results? Well, more than 9 out of 10 web experiences start with a search engine, and 60% of all sites clicked on by users appear in the top 3 listings on the first page of search results. And the example I have here is Ansira Nissan, one of our clients. So you search San Antonio Nissan Altima. They are the first listing, and this is crucial, and they work hard at this because they know the impact it has and how it drives website traffic and inevitably drives conversions as well. And many people won't even go on to the second page of search results, let alone the third page. So optimizing your content so you appear in the first 10 results on page 1 is crucial, and that's what we do on a regular basis. So I have a video here. I don't know how well the sound will work, but this is Matt Cutts, who's the SEO guru at Google, basically telling us how search works. Click on the, it should be dynamic, so it's embedded in. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Matt Cutts. I'm an engineer in the quality group at Google, and I'd like to talk today about what happens when you do a web search. The first thing to understand is that when you do a Google search, you aren't actually searching the web. You're searching Google's index of the web, or at least as much of it as we can find. We do this with software programs called spiders. Spiders start by fetching a few web pages. Then they follow the links on those pages and fetch the pages they point to, and follow all the links on those pages and fetch the pages they link to, and so on, until we've indexed a pretty big chunk of the web, many billions of pages stored across thousands of machines. Now, suppose I want to know how fast a cheetah can run. I type in my search, say cheetah, running, speed, and hit return. Our software searches our index to find every page that includes those search terms. In this case, there are hundreds of thousands of possible results. How does Google decide which few documents I really want? By asking questions, more than 200 of them, like, how many times does this page contain your keywords? Do the words appear in the title? In the URL? Directly adjacent? Does the page include synonyms for those words? Is this page from a quality website, or is it low quality? even spammy. What is this page's page rank? That's a formula invented by our founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, that rates a web page's importance by looking at how many outside links point to it and how important those links are. Finally, we combine all those factors together to produce each page's overall score and send you back your search results about half a second after you submit your search. At Google, we take our commitment to delivering useful and impartial search results very seriously. We don't ever accept payment to add a site to our index, update it more often, or improve its ranking. Let's take a look at my search results. Each entry includes a title, a URL, and a snippet of text to help me decide whether this page is what I'm looking for. I also see links to similar pages, Google's most recent stored version of that page, and related searches that I might want to try next. And sometimes, along the right and at the top, I'll see ads. We take our advertising business very seriously as well, both our commitment to deliver the best possible audience for advertisers and to strive to only show ads that you really want to see. We're very careful to distinguish your ads from regular search results. And we won't show you any ads at all if we can't find any that we think will help you find the information you're looking for, which in this case, the cheetah's top running speed is more than 60 miles an hour. Thanks for watching. I hope this made Google a little bit more understandable.
Okay, so other than being an advertisement for Google, hopefully, and I did get paid for that, by the way, hopefully that video kind of showed you just the basics of how search works and the process Google goes to actually display results for relevant queries. So as you are trying to maximize your visibility online, there's two strategic approaches you can take for your content, and we have automotive dealers that have taken both of these approaches. You can maximize for search popularity, or you can minimize for search competition. If you maximize for search popularity, you go after very broad generic keywords that have a lot of search volume, but they also have a lot of competition. The upside is if you can rank for one of these keyword queries, you're going to get a large number of impressions because there's high search volume associated with those queries. The downside is it's going to be harder to break through and rank on the first page. You may rank, very far down, and so you might not really get a lot of good site traffic from that. But if you have nothing to lose and you're just trying to break through, that might be an approach you take. Break through the market, I should say. If you're minimizing search competition, you're going after very specific, very narrowly defined keyword terms. These are going to be what we call long tail keywords. So multiple keywords strung together. They're not going to be vague and generic. They're going to be very specific to type of car, to your slogan, to brand-related keyword terms that describe your dealership. And you're likely not going to have much competition. So you're going to be able to easily rank high and rank well for these keyword terms with very little effort, and you'll see results faster this way. But you might not have as high of search volume because not that many people may be looking for those specific terms. So lower search volume is the downside with that versus higher with this. So they both have their pros and cons, and it's really kind of a matter of individual preference which approach you want to take, or maybe use both approaches and have keyword terms that touch upon both. So types of search. You need to consider how your customers search for you and what they search for as they create content, as you create content and organize your site. So there's three basic types of online search queries. We have transactional. So that's somebody who's trying to complete a specific action. They want to buy a ticket online. They want to complete a purchase. They want to get their car serviced or schedule an appointment. So there's a specific action that they want to do, and that's driving their browsing history and their search activity. Informational. They want to find out the name of a restaurant. They want to get an answer to a question. How late is your dealership open? What are your service center hours? So that would be an informational type search. Navigational. They're just trying to get to a particular website, but they don't remember the URL. I want to get to Gary Crossley Ford, don't remember the URL, I'm just going to type in Gary Crossley, Kansas City, get to their website that way. And that's really how a lot of people navigate to websites, and more, even people that know the URL will type it in the search bar out of laziness because it's just easier if Google's their homepage, they snap that in there, go straight to that, it saves them some typing effort. So this is from an About.com study, but I put this chart in here because it correlates with those 3 different types of searches. And this is a breakdown. They actually did a survey of, I think it was a sample of 2,000 people on their search patterns. And they found 46% search for basically informational questions, so trying to get answers to specific questions they have. So not transactional, not trying to find a website. They just want an answer to a question. So that's a huge chunk of the population. You have 28% that want to be inspired, that are looking for, creative information out there. And then you have 26% that's educational. They're just trying to brush up on their knowledge, learn more about a specific topic, maybe learn more about a particular car, gas mileage, features, that type of thing. That would fall under education. So now that you know how people search online and you know how you want to target them, it comes down to you have to establish authority online. That doesn't happen overnight. You don't just put up a website and you're ranked high and you have good authority and you're just getting all this traffic. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. The first step you want to take is make sure that as many pages of your site are indexed as possible. So Google will crawl your site frequently, as well as the other search engines, and index pages on your site. You want to make sure your pages are structured in a way that they can be indexed easily and quickly, and you have maximized your visibility. And you maximize your visibility online by getting as many of your pages indexed as possible, especially relevant pages, so that you can be found in all types of searches, even searches that you haven't considered. Most likely there's people that are conducting searches and finding your site through ways that you haven't even planned for. You want to increase your site's rankings when key terms are searched. So that means sitting down, strategizing about the type of keywords that are relevant, the type of queries that you think will drive traffic to your site, and ensuring that your site is visible for those keywords, and really taking time to make sure that the keywords that you're driving traffic for are strategically relevant, they're important, and not just to you, but to the end consumer, to the car buyer. Because at the end of the day, that's the person who matters. They're the people that you're trying to drive to your site and drive to make a purchase decision. So the way that they search for content online may be different than how you imagine. So that takes some research and figuring out high volume searches, how people get to some of your competitor sites, and then targeting those keywords accordingly. So some optimization techniques that we do for our customers here at Vin and Haystak, and I'll go over these at high level because it gets into the details quite a bit. But canonicalization, specifying the primary domain for your site. If your site is accessible www and non-www, if you don't specify the primary domain and have one of those 2 domains redirect to the other, Google and the search engines will view them as 2 separate sites. So any page authority, any goodwill, any link equity that you build up for those sites will be divided between the 2, so you won't get the full benefit. So you want both of those domains linked, and the way you do that is by establishing one as the primary domain. And that's a step that we take during the pre-live process as well. It's something that typically the website project managers do when a site is launching, and then we also verify that as well. But very crucial to doing. Otherwise, performance is going to be on the low side. Your rankings aren't going to be as high, and you do this again at the domain level. 301 redirects. So that's when you have content that is no longer active or live, but you want to keep the equity and the ranking for that content. It may be a page that's ranking really high and it's getting a lot of traffic. And if you switch website providers, that link may be different. So we set up 301 redirects, basically having that link redirect to similar content on our side. And the benefit to that is it helps retain that page rank that has been built up, and ensures that none of that traffic is lost. We don't do this for every URL because there's thousands, but we typically look at the first 2 pages of Google search results and look at the highest ranking URLs from a dealer's site, a dealer that is migrating over to us, and those are the links that we redirect to similar content on our side to retain as much of that page rank and page traffic as possible. Other optimization techniques. I actually don't have it on here, but backlinking, getting high quality links from relevant referral sites, so external websites, if you can get them to link to you and they're relevant and they're high quality, that adds to your site authority. It has a huge impact, probably the greatest impact after setting the page titles for your sites and including those keywords in those page titles. But additionally, in addition to external referrals, you want to have internal links as well. So any internal site pages that you want to focus on and you want those pages to rank as high as possible, you want to have some relevant internal links to those pages, usually through the use of anchor text with relevant keywords. Google will crawl your pages, and the more times that they see an internal link to a specific page come up, they will view that internal page on your site as high importance, and so that page will get additional ranking potential based on that. So that's crucial to do as far as your strategy. Making your page titles actionable. You want clear, concise calls to action. Your page titles should not only contain the keywords that you want to go after, but they should describe the intent of your page and what you want the customer to do on your page. And then social media. Any content that you have on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, you want, are they liking, following, sharing that content, or do you have any content that is linking back to your site? Social share functionality on your website that sends people to your social channels and then also bring them back. That creates link equity, social link equity, which is an external referral as well. So that really matters. And so having that connectivity is really crucial, especially as social media continues to grow and that link equity becomes more important. Okay, so now what do we do in terms of actually taking all of these factors and putting them into effect here at Haystak and Venn? We have a pre-live SEO process we go through. So my team will add metadata to the homepage, and metadata consists of page title and site description. And we have keywords on here, and I put this on here because this shows how quickly the industry changes. Once upon a time, keywords, basically a field where you could just stuff as many keywords as possible, was a relevant part of SEO and a driving force behind SEO. The search engines figured out that people were gaming that and taking advantage, so this no longer has any value for Google or Bing, which are the two major search engines. And so we have this in MotoSnap, but it's no longer going to be a factor going forward, and we don't use it, and we advise dealers against using it because we don't want to give them false expectations. But the page title is where the #1 place that the search crawlers seek out keywords. And then your site description is the snippet of text that appears in the search result. So it doesn't necessarily affect ranking, and it does it, although keywords will be identified in there. But where this comes into play is you want something that is enticing and actionable to your user, because at this point you may be ranking high because of you have keywords optimized in your page title and you have a site that's structured well. But if your site description doesn't grab them, if it doesn't demand their attention, they're not going to click through and go to your site. And at the end of the day, it's about site traffic. Additionally, we add links to the inventory in the homepage scroller. So advanced SEO clients, they have scroller content on that homepage, introductory content about their dealership, their locations, their inventory. And we have that full of good internal links and anchor text that are keyword rich to help drive traffic and help drive up rankings as well. And then we also have our recent customers page and link at the bottom of the site homepage, and that's for advanced SEO only, which we'll talk about a little bit more. So this is just a screenshot of the homepage SEO metadata, page title, keyword, and site description within MotoSnap that we utilize, that my team utilizes for new sites, homepage only. This is a screenshot of how, basically on a custom page, that same metadata. So we have the title right here, the description. We also have the primary heading, so this is called a header tag. So this is actually visible on the page, and this has an impact as well in terms of SEO, just not as high as your page title. But you can see these are the areas that we edit and work within in MotoSnap, and this is how it correlates in a search result that you might see online. Here's the title. And you can see in bold are the keywords that they take that are taken directly from the title field. You have your URL. Again, you want this optimized as well with keywords and to follow a clean, nice directory structure. And then your description. And again, in bold, you have keywords that have been taken out. And this is the actual snippet that is to entice people to actually click on the result. A screenshot of our homepage scroller. I think most of you have seen this, what that content looks like. Again, for advanced SEO customers, we work within that, that content area. And then within MotoSnap, it's accessible here. It's actually labeled homepage SEO. And so that's how you would navigate to that. And of course, this is going to be fairly different in Core 360, but this is how we work out of it right now. And again, a screenshot just of the actual fields that we edit for the scroller and what that looks like. You can see we utilize what we call content placeholders. They're called macros in Core 360. But this allows us to quickly pull dealership information like their location, their dealer name, basically other attributes that we can pull in quickly, and then it'll populate based on that placeholder. And one thing I did touch on was location. We optimize our sites for dealer name, makes and models, and their location. 3 locations we optimize for. So usually it's their immediate location, the city they're located in, and then maybe some surrounding suburbs or the closest metropolitan city if they're in a suburb outside of a big city. And this is crucial because we pull in these location tags throughout the metadata on different pages, on the inventory pages. We pull them in throughout the content, because location is one of the key areas to optimize for, and one of the top ways that people search when they're looking for a new vehicle or they're trying to find a dealership. They type in their city or the nearest metropolitan city, and that's how they arrive at a dealer's website in many instances. This is a screenshot of the recent customers page. So this functionality comes from the dealer's DMS. So basically we pull their sold vehicle data and it's incorporated into this area. The link to recent customers usually appears at the bottom right of their site. Although this isn't meant to be the link itself and the page right here, these are the dynamically generating recent customer pages. So it's based on the sold data from their DMS, and you can't see it, but it has the person's name, the city they're from, the vehicle they purchased, and then this is a link to a dynamic page that has been created based on that information. It also has links to similar inventory and to the specific vehicle they bought. So the idea behind it is these are rich, new, dynamically created pages that are location optimized, vehicle optimized, and because they are new pages and they're being generated constantly, it's a source of new, rich content for Google to crawl. And the more often that Google sees new content on a site, the more often they'll crawl the site. If you update your site with new content once a month, they're only going to crawl it once a month. If you update it a couple times a month, they're going to start crawling your site weekly, and you'll see ranking changes weekly rather than having to wait months at a time. So that's why adding new content is so crucial, and that's the role that this functionality plays, because it's new content being created that's optimized. So this link necessarily isn't meant to be customer facing. This list of these pages aren't necessarily meant to be customer facing, but it's the actual pages behind these links that end up ranking high for location vehicle combination searches. So 2014 Ford Focus Kansas City, if you search for that, most likely you'll see one of these recent customers pages from a specific customer from that city rank, in the top 2 or 3, and then that will, cause click-throughs and lead to more traffic to the dealer's site. And we've seen that in some instances on some sites, these pages will account for up to 30% of the traffic to a dealer's site alone. So they have a huge impact. Now, they work well today, but that doesn't mean that at some point in the future Google may come along and say, hey, we don't like this type of setup, we don't like dynamic pages created this way. At that point we'd have to adjust, because they may decide that this no longer matters, it's no longer helpful. They may penalize us for it in some way, and so then we would take it down. Search marketing is an ever-changing industry, so it's all about reacting and being able to adjust quickly if the search engines make those types of changes, which they often do. Post-live SEO, we actually submit new sites to Google and Bing directly for indexing, and we basically identify the primary canonical URL at that time, just to speed along the process, hopefully get those sites indexed more quickly. We take a screenshot of the pages that are indexed on Google and we copy it over to the client implementation folder, so we can often 3 months later come back and say, this is how many pages you had indexed before you came to us. Now it's grown by 3 or 4 times, and we can really demonstrate value and how our optimization techniques work. We also send the dealer a post-live email with instructions on creating their own Google Analytics accounts, adding us as an admin. We then install Google Analytics code on their website, and Google Analytics allows them to track website traffic, performance, traffic sources, impressions, different data about new visitors versus returning visitors to their site. A plethora of different data metrics that are really helpful. So we add that tracking code to their site. We set up filters, so we filter out traffic from their dealership addresses and our own IP addresses, so it doesn't have any effect on the data they're seeing. And then we also, for advanced SEO customers only, we create goals in Google Analytics. So we can track form loads and form submissions for them. So anybody that submits a form, contact form, service form, vehicle interest form, that can be tracked. And then we will send, basically schedule monthly reports to those dealers that go out the first of every month, measuring goal conversions, keywords and rankings, visitors, and traffic sources. So that's the process we go through. So what we do beyond that, we have global SEO related dev enhancements that go out monthly. We had more than 20 enhancements in 2013 alone. We already have 9 enhancements SEO related in the first 2 months of 2014, so you can see how far beyond last year we are already at this time. These type of enhancements benefit our dealer base globally, and these are just a few of the examples. The handouts that you have in front of you have the full list of everything from 2013, but dynamic inventory title tags that change based on the search selection criteria. They select 2012, Ford Fusion. Those tags are changing based on their selections, which helps Google recognize which types of searches are more popular and rank those search pages higher. 404 is for sold inventory pages, so we can get that inventory de-indexed and we can have their new inventory ranking high. Video sitemaps, image alt tags, and these enhancements typically address dealer feature requests, industry trends, new page signals, so if we have new media or new types of content that are really driving rankings and particularly for Google. And Google algorithm changes. So the algorithm that Google uses to rank pages and to index sites. So why do we make so many of our adjustments based on what Google says? Well, why does Google matter above and anything else? Well, this is why. Google dominates the market. This is as of December, the most recent study results that are out. 67% of online users search using Google. Bing is 18%. That's grown from about 12% over the last 2 years. So it's growing a little bit, but still behind, and you can see the others there. Google's word is law. So when they change their algorithm and change how they rank sites and what factors they look at that are most crucial, that has an impact on us. These are 3 of the most far-reaching and impactful algorithm updates that came out from Google. We had Panda, so that's basically where they increase the value of high-quality sites, and they penalize sites that had spammy, duplicate content. There were sites out there that were building, massive volumes of pages with the same content to try to create link schemes. Those sites got penalized. We have Penguin, so that update penalized sites that were engaging in keyword stuffing and link farming. If you just throw as many keywords as possible on a page, that's going to be recognized by Google. That's a bad practice. You don't want to do that. It's going to hurt you. And link farming. So that's trying to get as many links as possible, external links to your site. Not high quality links necessarily, but maybe driving thousands and thousands of links to your site from unrelated sites, unrelated blogs, pages that are thrown up in the middle of the night that are irrelevant and don't actually have any value to the end user. Hummingbird, which came out last October, didn't have as huge of an impact, but it basically is Google changed the way that they display content. So they give a preference now to question-based queries, and basically they're trying to uncover the intent of the user. So no longer is it just matching content with keywords that the user is typing in, but actually trying to get beyond the keywords and say what is the user trying to find? What is the answer that they're trying to solve for? If you don't comply with these, the consequences can be devastating. BMW was de-indexed in their home market in Germany, basically based on one of the schemes they were doing. They had all of these gateway pages that were driving traffic to their site, and they had what we call hidden text. And the hidden text, which couldn't be seen by the crawlers but was meant to kind of fool them and also help increase their ranking for keywords, along with those gateway pages, which were just spammy pages full of keywords. Google caught on to that. They were taken off of the indices completely. You could not find them if you were in Germany looking for BMW in Google. They didn't exist. And so it took them about a year to regain visibility. JCPenney and Overstock.com were penalized not as badly, but they saw ranking reductions. JCPenney hired a bad SEO marketer who basically built out all these bad links, thousands of bad links for their product pages. Google caught on and said, oh no, this isn't good. So they got bumped down 100 places for many of their products. They still haven't recovered from that. It's still difficult, and you can test this out if you look for specific products and try to find JCPenney's online pages related to that. They're going to be pretty far down. Overstock.com did a really kind of interesting thing, and I have to give them credit. It was genius, although it's wrong. What they did is they basically went to college students and said, hey, if you link to our product pages from your .edu domains, we'll give you discounts, on dorm products, appliances, rugs, different stuff like that. So number one, not only was that wrong because they're basically paying for links, but number two, they knew what they were doing because .edu links have much higher authority in Google's eyes than other links because they're supposed to be of academic value. So here you have thousands of .edu domains linking over to Overstock product pages, and they told the students to use anchor text related to the products that they were trying to drive sales for. So, link over to vacuum cleaner and link over to, dorm bedroom set. And use this as your text, your anchor text. So yeah, they lost ranking, and they never quite recovered either, which is why they do a lot of TV commercials. So just a few examples of the consequences of not complying. The future, rich snippets, structured data, semantic markup. So this is adding code to your site. You've probably seen this on like Yelp review pages or like Amazon product pages where it gives additional information about the product, like a price, quantity, and stock. For a dealership, the benefit would be on a search result page, like for Vance Auto Group, that you would have these listings for specific vehicles appearing on that search page with the price and maybe the quantity and stock, 10 plus items. So it's just a way that you can really make your listing more attractive and hopefully increase click-through. Adding this, again, has no impact on ranking or on how you're indexed, but it does assist with driving traffic. And so we are actually in the process of adding this to our sites, and this is something we're going to roll out to dealers on the new platform. It's something they're going to have Core 360 to get. But it's really exciting. There's no other dealership I'm aware of that is doing this yet besides Vance. So this is something that's going to really be a value add in terms of the benefit, and not just on search results pages, but we're going to add it to VDPs and other pages as well. Semantic search, so this is the Google Knowledge Graph. This kind of gets behind Hummingbird, so when you type in a search query, if you're looking for Da Vinci Airport in Rome, let's step back. You put in Da Vinci. What are the results that Google's going to give you? Leonardo da Vinci, the famous inventor, painter, possibly. Da Vinci Airport in Rome. There's so many different results. This is changing, though. It's not going to just be based on keyword. Google's going to look at your past search history and your activity to give you results. So, for example, I recently in my Google Plus circle talked about put something up about the train station at Da Vinci Airport and wanting to map out where I'm supposed to go. And maybe I looked at photos online, Google's image search for Da Vinci Airport. Well, Google's going to take all of that from my accounts and from my history. So when I search for Da Vinci now, I'm going to have the Da Vinci Airport in Rome as my top result if I'm logged into my Google account. If I'm not logged in, it's going to give me Leonardo da Vinci the painter. So that is some of the background behind what Google's trying to do, is give more personalized results based on your history. So this is something to be aware of, and put more results to the site as well. Social media plays into this because what you do on Google+, local, Facebook, Twitter, all of that's going to tie in with that account linkage. So Google's going to look to see your activity history on there and try to incorporate that into the results that they display to you. So that's the end of my presentation. Questions, comments? Yeah?
You mentioned external links going to the dealer sites would help their rankings, and I guess as we're rolling out Haystak, would that really boost our rankings because we're going to have Auto Trader and Kelly Blue Book linking to the pages? Is that something we can sell on?
Yes, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities for cross-linking with that whole family of companies, and so that's a real benefit to talk about to the dealer. That also gets into behavioral targeting as well. So being able to serve up content that's customized to the user based on their experience and their visits on those other sites, on Auto Trader, on Kelly Blue Book. That will help in the rankings of those sites. So yeah, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for that. I think remains to be seen kind of quite how that's going to be incorporated, but yeah, that helps. And those are Auto Trader and Kelly Blue Book have high authority between those two sites and rank well. So.
With search engines becoming more smarter and how you get your ranks higher up in the pages, how is pay-per-click advertising being affected by all of this, and what is our stance on that for our dealers who ask about that?
Good question. So pay-per-click is related, but it's not a definitive link. So what you pay for a keyword for a paid advertising campaign, it's based on competition for that keyword. So many times it will correlate with the organic competition for that keyword as well, but it's going to differ because paid advertising is more variable and will change based on time of day, number, exigential factors like what's happening in the marketplace, marketing-wise, promotions behind it. So you'll see that fluctuate more often than you will see organic. Organic is slower, so you won't see that fluctuate as quickly in terms of rankings or competition for a keyword. But it is related, and so it does go hand in hand. So if you have a very low volume keyword organically that there's not a lot of competition for, more often than not, that same keyword, if you try to buy it for an ad, the bid price is going to be low because it won't have that much competition either. Because typically you want to align your SEO strategy with your PPC strategy. So if you are trying to rank higher for specific pages organically, have a SEM campaign running identical to that for those keywords, try to drive up traffic, and then watch how that performs. And then if you need to make changes, make those. But you want those to work in tandem for sure. Okay. Yep.
One question. Talking about keywords and pay-per-click, can you buy your competitors' names for pay-per-click keywords? Like Jerry Crosby Ford, if they wanted to buy a Latham Ford, or somebody types in a Latham Ford, they can come up in those search results.
You can do that. In fact, when I was still doing the SEM campaigns, the PPC campaigns here at VIN, we did some of that as well, and that's something I know Haystak does. So it's completely fine, and it's widespread. I know we've had dealers complain about it when other dealers have done it to them, but you can do that. It's a free market, just like with any form of marketing and advertising. It's clever, especially if you're talking about on a vehicle basis. If you're talking about a competitor's vehicle that is very similar to your own, you should be doing that. Again, to grab market share and get a prospective buyer who may be in the market for your vehicle but is looking at a similar vehicle, bring them over to your side. Yes, you can do that.